The Amazon rainforest stretched endlessly, its thick canopy blocking out most of the sunlight, letting only golden beams slip through like secrets of the sky. The air was heavy with the scent of damp earth, moss, and wild orchids. Everywhere, the symphony of the jungle played, chirping cicadas, distant bird calls, and the gentle hum of the river that wound its way through the trees. Ethan, a young traveler with a restless soul, tightened the straps of his backpack as he crossed a narrow wooden bridge. He had come searching for adventure, but deep inside, he carried something more, an unspoken longing to feel truly alive. Halfway across the bridge, he noticed a figure waiting on the other side. Lucas, a fellow explorer, tall and composed, with a calmness in his eyes that seemed to tame even the wildness of the Amazon. He stood there, watching the river flow beneath them, until his gaze lifted and met Ethan's. That single glance felt eternal. For a heartbeat, the forest went silent. The rustling leaves, the rushing water, even the distant thunder seemed to pause, as if the Amazon itself wanted to witness this meeting. Ethan's lips curved into a shy smile. Lucas answered with a warmth that melted the distance between them. Neither spoke a word, but something ancient and powerful stirred in their hearts. And though they were surrounded by millions of trees, it felt like there were only two souls in the entire rainforest, destined to find each other. Days turned into nights, and nights into days. But for Ethan and Lucas, time seemed to dissolve in the Amazon. Together, they trekked through towering trees older than history, their roots tangled like veins of the earth. They bathed beneath waterfalls, where the crashing water sang songs of freedom. They laughed under sudden rainstorms that drenched their clothes, but washed away all hesitation. Every step through the forest revealed not only the mysteries of the wild, but also of each other. Ethan learned that Lucas was brave but gentle, a man who carried silence like a shield, yet spoke with eyes full of kindness. Lucas discovered Ethan's restless energy, his clumsy footsteps that made him laugh, and his heart that overflowed with dreams too big for words. At night, by the fire, shadows danced on their faces as they shared stories of their lives. The crackling flames reflected in their eyes, and for Ethan, every flicker of light seemed to spell a truth he hadn't admitted. He was falling in love. One evening, under a sky painted with endless stars, Lucas whispered softly, "Do you feel it too? Like the jungle itself brought us here for a reason." Ethan's heart pounded. He turned to him, his voice trembling but certain. "Yes, I don't think this is an accident." And then, as though the stars themselves leaned closer to listen, their hands found each other. In that quiet moment, two travelers became something more, two souls bound by fate, by the forest, and by a love that had only just begun. But the Amazon was not only a paradise, it was also a trial. Storms rolled in without warning, fierce winds bending the trees and rain flooding the paths they walked. The forest tested them with every step, venomous creatures, steep cliffs, and nights when the howls of unseen animals echoed through the dark. One night, as a storm raged and lightning tore the sky apart, Ethan felt fear rising within him. His clothes clung to his skin, his heart raced with every thunderclap. For a moment, he thought the jungle would swallow them whole. But then Lucas reached for his hand, steady and firm. His voice was calm, even against the roar of the storm. "No matter how wild the storm becomes, I'll never let you go." Those words wrapped around Ethan like armor. It wasn't just the promise of safety, it was love in its purest form. Love that stood tall against fear. Love that turned every trial into proof of their strength. When the storm passed and the dawn finally broke, the forest glistened as though it too had survived a battle. The river sparkled, the trees stood proud, and so did they. Emerging from the jungle, tired yet alive, Ethan and Lucas carried something far greater than memories. They carried a love story written not in books, but in raindrops, firelight, and the whispers of the Amazon itself. They had entered as strangers, but they walked out as one, forever bound by a love as untamed, eternal, and powerful as the rainforest that brought them together.